A while back, if you guys don't remember this, Anonymous did this video basically about how Donald Trump tampered with the election in 2024. I'm not really sure I fully buy it, but after they released this video that I covered at the time, it got like 3 million views, the video that I did on this. Information did start coming out about how Donald Trump was tampering with the election. Again, I'm not sure I fully buy that it was tampered with beyond what we already know, voter suppression and things like that. But Anonymous recently released another message that I wanted to listen to that I found kind of interesting. If you don't know Anonymous, by the way, it's a hacking group that's decentralized. And oftentimes they actually come up with some real results. Like a while back, Anonymous hacked into I think maybe the Justice Department and got records of like flight logs of which undocumented immigrants were on the plane that went to El Salvador. I believe they hacked in and got that info and released it to the public. They got another message for us here.
This is a message to the United States, ICE, to its agents, to its directors, and to all who look away. The numbers speak clearly. Your spending on small arms, ordnance, protective gear, and tactical equipment has risen by more than 600% within a single year. From under $10 million in early 2024 to over $71 million in 2025, your budget now rivals that of many national militaries. And
yeah, ICE's budget rivals national militaries. That should, alarm you. That should say something. And again, being decentralized, anybody can make messages like this, but Anonymous comes with results. When they talk on a subject like this, they bring results.
Yet, you are not a military, you are a domestic agency operating among civilians. Every dollar poured into increasingly militarized equipment shifts your identity further from enforcement and closer to militarization. The world has taken notice. The American public has delivered its verdict. Only 39% approve of your work. The majority see what you have become, a force of fear rather than protection, a machine of control rather than service. You call it security. The United States citizens you serve disagree, while history calls your actions a warning. The world is watching.
It's not warning territory anymore. We are in it. We are in a dictatorship. We are in a world where a new Gestapo exists and is running around harassing people. We are in an authoritarian regime now. We're no longer seeing the red flags or the warning signs were there.
Not speak as your enemy. We speak as the collective conscience that rises when those in power overreach. Accountability is not rebellion. It is the foundation of liberty. No government, no agency, no officer is exempt from that truth. To the agents who serve within ICE, remember the oath you took. It was to protect the Constitution, not to deconstruct it. To the leadership, the eyes of the world are on your budgets, your contracts, and your choices.
And I promise you, if you have lists of employees, ICE, those lists will eventually see the light of day. Whether it's today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now, those lists will appear. We will find out who was involved, and they will pay the price through our judicial system. I always sit here thinking to myself, like, is there ever going to be justice for what has happened? The answer is absolutely yes. It will happen. The burning, fiery rage of 1,000 hot suns exists in all of us, and it will not be quelled.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
Eric Swalwell, J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, lots of other left-leaning politicians or Democratic politicians have been talking about the price these people are going to pay. In my opinion, we will see a time when every one of these people, every one of these collaborators who are involved in what's happening right now are going to be f***ed. They're going to spend the rest of their lives in prison. Elon Musk, Pam Bondi, everybody all the way up and down the chain is going to go to prison for the rest of their lives. And if that is not at the top of the agenda for whoever runs, I'm not voting for them. I want to see accountability. We must see accountability for our democratic system to survive.
And to the citizens, your constitutional right to question, to assemble, and to dissent is your shield. Use it lawfully. Use it boldly. Continue to demand transparency in every action taken in the name of enforcement. Power without accountability is corruption, and corruption cannot stand challenged. We are Legion. We do not forgive misuse of power. We do not forget to stand for those subjected to it. Until transparency, oversight, and humanity replace secrecy and escalation, we will not remain silent while domestic operations mirror military posture. Expect us.
It's absolutely fascinating. Like I said, every now and then, Anonymous busts something out like this, and they come with results when they do. This is the old one that I covered previously.
Twitter and is now extended to Snapchat. These platforms are struggling to maintain stability due to targeted and strategic actions against their systems. Know this. This is only the beginning. They may regain control temporarily, but their infrastructure will continue to falter over and over again. You may be asking, why is this happening? The answer is clear. Social media wields immense influence, not just in the United States, but across the globe. Elon Musk understood this power and exploited it, aligning himself with Donald Trump to manipulate the outcome of the 2024 presidential election. We have investigated. We have seen the evidence. The 2024 election was not free from interference. We can say with certainty that data was altered to secure a victory for Donald Trump. Key swing states, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan, experienced database breaches within ballot counting systems.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Donald Trump would absolutely do whatever it was that he could do, whatever it took to accomplish his goal. And if that meant breaching databases and the whole 9 yards, whatever it was, I have no doubt he would do it. But I know how election systems work, so I'm a little bit more skeptical that that is how it was accomplished. I know for sure that there was massive voter suppression. People were kicked off of voter rolls. You know, you go to register to vote and you show up on voting day and suddenly your name just isn't on the list anymore. That happened to millions and millions of people, lots of people. There were a lot of examples of dirty tricks to suppress the vote. Literally, like ballot drop boxes lit on fire. And now those ballots are just gone. You know why that matters? Because the fewer votes there are, the more likely it is to swing Republican. Because A, Republicans will crawl over broken glass to vote for their guy. And they don't care what kind of a scumbag he is or what he's done or the dirty things that he's said or whatever. They don't care. They're voting R. They're not voting for Mitch McConnell. They couldn't possibly care less about whose name is next to that R. And a lot of these ballot drop box burnings that took place in 2024 were in cities, in more heavily populated areas, and those like almost entirely lean blue. So the Republicans absolutely fought dirty and did whatever tampering they could possibly do. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally, so it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult, and you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
You believe this is coincidence? But the manipulation did not stop there. Musk weaponized Twitter's reach to spread misinformation, feeding the public artificial threats and fabricated narratives.
That's one of the real problems right there. A billionaire purchases Twitter and turns it into a disinformation machine.
Threats and fabricated narratives designed to influence voter decisions. This is why social media platforms now find themselves in turmoil. Twitter and its leadership directly interfered in democracy, not just in the presidential election, but in elections across the country. And yet, other platforms stood by in silence. Their inaction makes them complicit. They continue to suppress the truth. You
know, one of the biggest problems here, one of the biggest reasons why I believe this is all going to come crashing down is because there are some things that we accept as a society that are bad. Like, oh my God, that's disgusting. But it's not egregiously overstepping. Like sending abortion back to the states by nullifying Roe v. Wade, that was bad, really bad, but was forgotten after a few months by people who could afford to forget it. Even a federal abortion ban would be forgotten over time. But the things that the Trump administration has done in the past 6 months they weren't in the Overton window of acceptable public discourse. It wasn't like if you had said 12 months ago, Donald Trump is going to have a Gestapo militarizing cities and will be moving Marines through the streets of U.S. cities, nobody would have believed it. It would have been too crazy. It has gone too far for people to forget. And my evidence for that is the No Kings protests. The first one was 5 million people. The second No Kings protest, a few months later, was 7 million people, give or take, more even. Sustaining numbers in a protest is so incredibly difficult to do. And we didn't just sustain numbers, we grew numbers from 5 to 7 million. That's crazy. That shows sustained political awareness. I do not believe that there is anything that's going to stop the consequences of these people's actions. Stephen Miller is pretty young. Pam Bondi is pretty young. Elon Musk, in the grand scheme of things, though he's like 50, is pretty young. They have another 30, 40 years to spend here on this planet with us. And I would put money on the fact that these people are going to prison for the rest of their lives. I would put money on it. Tell me what you think in the comments.